My name is Carol Simpson, and I'm going to be presenting my HSCO508 Interpersonal Communication Project. How I will tell you to advance the slide is by simply saying slide. Slide. My goals for this project are to present my overarching goal, my definition of enlarging the conversation, barriers faced in interpersonal communication and how to deal with those barriers, noise pollution, issues and solutions, and then my plan of action. Slide. Let me introduce myself first. I am an Army kid. I grew up to marry an Army officer, and we've been married for 17 years. He's now retired after 33 years of service, and now we work at a residential child care facility in the Texas Panhandle. I am an aunt of the heart to many, all around the world. Some by birth, others by choice. I am an I. I like to talk. That is my behavioral blend. Not only how I perceive myself, but how others perceive me as well. Slide. My overarching goal is to be a level 1 listener, allowing others to talk or, if need be, to simply sit in silence. Being non-judgmental or fearful of how others may perceive me, all in an effort to enlarge the conversation. Slide. Now, what do I mean by enlarging the conversation? This is building meaning and identity together by all parties contributing to the conversation, both verbally and non-verbally, by way of inhaling and exhaling. Stewart, in his book, defines inhaling as talking in or receiving messages sent by another by words, actions, gestures, or even body language. Exhaling is the giving off or sending of messages by the same means. I love this illustration because, as I have said, I am a talker. Exhaling, giving off messages is not a problem to me. Exhaling a breath is a passive action. All you have to do is relax your muscles. Inhaling, on the other hand, requires energy. It is an action, and you have to have effort to do it. It takes effort to listen at a level 1, but it's effort that's worth it. Slide. Part of my background and my behavioral blend. As I've said before, I am an I, which means my basic motivation is approval and recognition. I get this because I love to talk to people. I feel comfortable talking to a large group or even a small one. I'm a Christian comedian. I got this because I was the class clown. Being a class clown came out of a very hard time because I am dyslexic and I am ADHD. I was made fun of not only by teachers, but also by fellow students. My challenge is not in talking, but in listening. Not just in listening, but listening at a level 1. Slide. There are 3 levels of listening that Burley Allen talks about. The level 3 is a listener who is sporadic, faking paying attention to what you're saying. A level 2 listener listens to the words but doesn't delve into trying to find out what the deeper meaning is. A level 1 listener is listening empathetically, non-judgmentally, and trying to see things from the talker's point of view. Slide. Now I have some barriers to listening. I need to recognize when listening at a lower level and focus on listening at a level 1. The solution is continued training. Now, I read a study on information retention showing that the more training that a person received, the greater the retention and recollection. This is very important. We've taken this class one time. That doesn't mean that the training is over. We need to continue to train and continue to learn our whole life. We never stop learning, and we need to continue to learn to be a better listener. Now, the kids I work with out at the residential care facility, they come to us with a whole lot of emotional baggage. The solution to this is to recognize what they are dealing with and have a Christ-like compassion for them. Peterson describes emotional baggage as having a full stomach. Slide. Now, I love again this illustration. Peterson describes a person as having an empty belly, no emotional baggage, having an open heart, being collaborative, also having a thinking head. It's clear to function as God intended. Now, what happens is emotions build up in the stomach and an avalanche of events begin. An empty belly becomes full of emotions pushing on the heart. An open heart gets pressured out of shape and into an unfeeling brick shape. Then the head, which was once able to comprehend, becomes flattened and thus cannot think clearly. The flattened brain pushes on the ears and the eyes, decreasing their functions, and of course all that pressure then goes to the open mouth, and boy does it talk. Slide. Now, when this occurs, you can have a whole lot of internal noise pollution. My brain is always thinking of what to say next instead of listening. All three of the texts that we read this class warn against such things. The solution is to recognize that I am drifting in my thoughts and refocus on the talker. Every person has some form of prejudice. This is based on past experiences and influences. The solution is to seek to listen at level 1 before making a perception. Everyone has prejudice. Anything based not on truth is possible pollution and must be cautioned against. Slide. External noise pollution is from external sources that can distort the conversation and make it difficult to listen. A solution? Beforehand, choose a proper location for that conversation, especially if it is more intimate or conflict-ridden conversation. New technology is being developed to aid the deaf and the hard of hearing to be able to reduce the background noises and improve the quality of conversation. My sister is deaf in her left ear. The external noise pollution can really affect on whether she can understand the conversation. Stewart wrote that the quality of our conversation has a direct correlation to the quality of our life. Slide. So what is my plan of action? I want a better communication and thus to better my life. How to implement it is by continuing to achieve my overarching goal by asking God for wisdom to know when to talk and when to listen. In James chapter 1 verse 5, it says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given you." Slide. In summary, as a Christian, I am not called to solve all their problems, but I am called to listen. As a Christian, I am not called to claim their problems, but I am called to carry them to the Lord in prayer. And as a Christian, I am called to listen without losing my voice for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you.